Although my spirit is vexed, although I'm in pains and my heart is burdened, but because of who you came with, because of the presence of the Jehoshaphat, because of the presence of the executive order of Israel, to whom I pledge allegiance to, I can't say no.
I want to specially welcome you to service this evening. It's a glorious and a wonderful service. As usual is my custom, I would like to entertain just one or two questions, and then we'll get into what we came here for today. Do we have any question? Right. In the absence of none, our text will be speaking from the book of 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 3 from verse 8 to 19. 2 Kings chapter 3 from verse 8 to 19. And he said, "Which way shall we go up?" And he answered, "The way through the wilderness of Edom." So the king of Israel went, and the king of Judah, and the king of Edom, and they fetched a compass of 7 days' journey. And there was no water for the host, and for the cattle that followed them. And the king of Israel said, "Alas, that the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab." But Jehoshaphat said, "Is there not here a prophet of the Lord, that we may inquire of the Lord by him?" And one of the king of Israel's servants answered and said, "Here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water at the hands of Elijah." And Jehoshaphat said, "The word of the Lord is with him." So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Edom, went down to him. And Elijah said unto the king of Israel, "What have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophets of thy father, and to the prophets of thy mother." And the king of Israel said unto him, "Nay, for the Lord had called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab." And Elisha said, "As the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, surely were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look towards thee, nor see thee. But now bring me a minstrel." And it came to pass, when the minstrel played, that the hand of the Lord came upon him. And he said, "Thus says the Lord, make this valley full of bushes. For thus saith the Lord, ye shall not see wind, nor shall ye see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water, that ye may have drink, both ye and your cattle and your beast. And this is but a light thing in the sight of God the Lord. He will deliver the Moabites also into your hands." With all ebullience that you can gather, I want you to look at your partner and say, "It is time for stretching." We began a series. Thank you, drummer. We began a series on Sunday, and we began to talk about how Elisha came into the fullness of his calling, and the things that he had to abandon and the things he had to leave. And one of the things that he left was the family. That is something that is connected. So long as you are within your family, there is a certain range of fulfillment you're not ever going to find, because the structure is the demand for stretching, and the stretching is such that it cannot happen in your family house. It cannot happen when your mother is around. It cannot happen when you are living with your father. And so whenever God decides to make use of a man, the first seal that he places on the man is that he makes the man dependent. And this was a test that Elisha needed to pass through in the hand of Elijah. And we saw that Elisha was asking for the wrong thing, because he has been a long time with the mother and the father. And we saw that when Elisha said, "Give me the double portion of your spirit," was a wrong request. We saw all that on Sunday. So if you are not here on Sunday, you can return back and then listen to the message again and again. You will get to understand where I'm coming from. And we saw that the double portion, many preachers have said it's a good thing that he asked for the double portion of the spirit of Elijah. But we saw on Sunday that that was a wrong request, that what he was supposed to be looking for was the carrier of the mantle, not the mantle itself. And when you get the carrier, you get what he carries. And so this guy has gone through that tutelage, and of course his spiritual father has departed away from him, and he is now alone, and he has become the king, the mouthpiece of Israel. Here comes a terrain that he is getting accustomed to. Need I not to forget to tell you this, that how do I put it that it doesn't look bad? Okay, your upbringing was not right. There was a lot of lapses in your upbringing, and most of the problems that we are having to get into expansion is the problem of family. The reason being that your parents trained you for a life that does not exist. You have been prepared and cultured for a life they're never going to experience. The life of our parents in those years is no longer the way life is now. As at that time, there was no making use of your phone. Before you send, when you write a letter, you pass it through the mailbox, and then it can take sometimes 1 month, sometimes 3 months to get to the person. Just by now, if you click on your Gmail and you send, the moment your data is on, you will just hear fiam, and the person has gotten the message, and automatically the reply is sent. We are not prepared for that kind of life. We are not prepared for a life of demand, when you will need to stretch yourself, when you will need to go beyond the boundaries that you used to know. You are not prepared for that kind of life. In the olden times, they will always tell you the girl should not visit the guy, and it's going to be like that till the people get married. And then if you happen to visit the guy, you need to go with maybe 5 persons or 2 persons at least, one for safety's sake and all that. But that's not the life that is occurring today. We all know that. And because of all these contradictions, it has been problematic or a challenge to us to come out of our comfort zone and begin to confront the things that is before us. Let me say this. The Holy Ghost will be here. I'm trying to keep my cool. And in 10 minutes I will begin to fire, because at that time what I am waiting for would have arrived. And so now when you have relationship problems, who do you call first? The ladies, your mother. If you are close to your mother, is it not? And if you are close to your mother, you call your mother and you get an advice. Can I tell you that you are getting an outdated advice, and that advice you are getting from your mother most often than not is a virus? The reason is because the operational system, the OS that we are using right now, is upgraded. is upgraded. And to be on the safer side, most of those advice they give you, you implement it and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because she is giving you a 19th century's advice on a 20th century life. Contradiction. And now the problem is when you harvest those informations, your father can tell you, when we were growing up, they told us that the moment you go to school and graduate, there will be a job. Didn't they tell you that? That was what they made you to believe. And so you enter school and refuse developing yourself. That's why you're giving us problem. So you refuse developing yourself, and then you only came out with a certificate. And the moment you jumped out of school, you realize all of a sudden that certificate was nothing. And then you get into a dilemma and you are contradicting. What is going on here? It's because the information they gave you was for their generation, not for your generation. Are you following me up to this point? It's just remaining about 7 minutes. And then the challenge becomes you have prepared yourself for a life that does not exist. And then when you have find yourself in that place, you become confused. And oftentimes that is problem. You know, when you were going to school, they told you that the moment you graduate to second class upper and first class, you are settled. Abi now you come out of school with a certificate, and from university you get into the senior applicant of Nigeria, SAN. So you have applied and there is no job anywhere because we have prepared for a life that does not exist. They have told you before that you just need to be calm, follow things, take it easy. Gradually you will get there. You've been taking it gradually for the past 25 years, and there is nothing yet you have achieved because they have told you something that does not exist. When you are going to school, your mother will tell you, make sure you concentrate, don't make friends, don't be very careful of bad friends and all that. And it cultured you that when you got into school, from your house to class, from class, it dealt with me. It dealt with me from class to library, from library to school. And a time you would have used to build your structure. What do I mean by structure? Partnership. You used it on doing sole proprietorship. And when you came out of school, you found out that there were people in your class that you now need but you can access because you are never friends with them. Why? They said, make sure what they give you should be enough. Don't even look at the left or the right. Then they will put a scripture that says that you should be contented with what you have. And it doesn't matter the flash that is coming on your eye. You say, be contented, be contented, be contented. And then you are contented with poverty. You are contented with lack. You are contented with struggle. And you have stayed long in it for a very long time that you've gotten used to the life. Now, the moment someone is trying to pull you out of the poverty life to a life of prosperity is a problem. You now feel that there is something that is extraordinary. They made you to understand. That time my mother would say, when you're going to, you see all those people that they used to pack money in Ghana must go and in carton and come and give you school, you should not worry about them. That those people and their parents are not the same thing. You see, that even if it is 1.5 they give you, you should be contented with what? 1.5. In fact, avoid those people so they don't corrupt you and make you begin to look for, have big eye. They say you need somebody have big eye. Big eye is that they give you 1,000, you now say you need 5,000. That's big eye. So now you have been contented and you have been trained and sustained with harboring a little. In these little years of mine, I have come in contact with several persons, and I have seen people who are professionals in managing little. But the moment you want to stretch them for them to begin to become that which is contained inside of them, they bulge out. Why? Because there is a reconstruction of their mentality. Their perception has been molded and structured in such a way that the only thing they understand is little. And then while you are growing up also, they gave you another lecture. Every girl now If you don't have an iPhone, you're not a happening girl. Is it not? Eh? You need to have an iPhone 11, 13. Did you have 14? Oh, okay, they have 15. So iPhone 13, 14, and 15. And very soon now they'll bring Pro. And then they'll bring what? Pro Max. And if you are not carrying it, you are not the happening girl in town. If you don't have a married man that, let me not use the name that you people, but you know the name, right? That name. If you don't have that name in your phone book, you're not up to date. You don't wear the latest we've on, you're not up to date. And you don't put on the best clothes and wear the best costly shoes. And give me those bags name. Give me those bags name. Louis Vuitton, we are there. You don't have those bags. You see, I know no one. Today I was in a counter to get some stores from a foreign account, and when we were in the line, the Yahoo boys now, their emblem, them. So I was feeling something. The boy was now trying to tell me what to feel. I looked at him. I told admin, this boy think we're in the same league. So you could, when he now opened his list, I looked at what he wanted to come and withdraw. It's $50. So when you look at him, you see that the contradiction is the lecture that apart from this way, you're not going to make money. So every girl wants to belong. If you don't have a guy now that your guy they drive car, he's a G and all that, wearing bling blings, you guys go to club, lick ice cream. Meanwhile, I have had relationship on their birthday. I bought them crackers, biscuits, and brought out one piece, divided into two, and we shared, because the Bible said there is love in what? Sharing. So we shared that one stick of biscuit, and we are okay. Now you buy a girl that crackers, biscuits as birthday gift. The Lord give you understanding. So that becomes a very big problem. Because your mother has prepared you for a life that does not exist. Your parents has prepared you for a life you cannot afford. And you are in between a life that does not exist and a life that you cannot afford. And then all that is left with you is to make a decision on the preparation that you want to get. Excuse me. Are we together? Okay. Now, when you get into that form, what do you do? That's why this message was prepared. I still have maybe 2 more minutes to give you this foundation, and then we'll make it to full. And they have told you that you don't need to do all those things. Your friend calls you, do you have a date on Sunday? You say, no, I'm at home. Say, at home? Really? At home? Sunday evening? Why? Because Sunday is for what? Outing. And you begin to feel that what makes you a better person is bottles. And then at the end of the day, a spree of bundle of 200 naira. And then you are happy. And we do not have the people who understand what life is all about. And there is no foundational building. And it has lowered the test of the female. That thing is coming now. It's coming close. It's coming close. I can feel it. It has lowered the test board of single ladies. And they are no longer in search of what is above. They are only looking for what is acceptable and manageable. And you have been made to believe that there is no guy that has thoughts. There is no guy that has vision. There is no guy that has a plan for expansion. And all you are looking for is increase without expansion. A lot of us,
has gotten into shapes and figures of relationship that all you care about is increase without expansion. And at the end of the day, you are surcharged because you are locked up in a box that only the movement you can make is within the jurisdictions of the confinement of the walls of the container. And you are bombarding yourself with others without having a space of your own. You have been taught that you are a survivor, not a succeeder. And so every plan you are making is how you can survive and not how you can succeed. You have neglected partnership and you have rolled away anything that will make you involved. You have been taught that you can do it alone, and that is why when you get into a department, you don't have friends in the department. You cannot function as a team member. The moment they fix you into that team, the team will begin to have a problem, because all that is in your head is how to survive and not how to succeed. You are looking for means of surviving and not means for succeeding. And all they did, trying to train you up, they were patterning your thought pattern, because the thought pattern is what engineers your learning process. So when they taught you and they began to make you to learn some certain things in their learning, you began to prepare, because the perspective of your thoughts is flowing from a source called your learning strategies. When they were teaching you at home, they were teaching you how to think. No, they were not only teaching you how to survive, or they were teaching you, please don't get me off wrong. Get me on the board, please, just the keyboard. I will tell you when I need. When they were teaching you at home, wash plate, wash back of pot, you have so much wash back of pot that you can no longer deal without a pot that has to be washed at the back. And so even when there is an availability of gas, you still prefer charcoal. Because all your culturing has been that you need to understand that what you need to be doing is to wash the back of pot, because it's going to be dirty. And that thought pattern has affected everything you represent. Now you can no longer begin to think big. Why? Because there is an obstruction in your mind. Within the confinement of your mind, there is a lockup somewhere that every pot, the back of it must be washed. When they were sending you to school and you were no lunch box, it was only biscuit. Now you are also preparing to give your children the same thing you inherited from your parents. When they taught you, you would tell them, do you know that the things I went through and survived, you also have to go through them and survive? No. When they are going to school, all you give them is 15 naira and then they go. That was the same thing your father gave you. And when they talk, you say, don't even talk. In my own time, it was 10 naira. Because every learning pattern structures your thought pattern. Now you tell them you need a computer system to upgrade. 95% of Nigerians don't understand anything coding. You get the computer system, if it has passed Nollywood, Bibi Nigeria has finished. They are no longer there's nothing they can do with the system. They only watch a movie to enjoy the action times and the times of love involved in it. And that has strength to who you are. They did not tell you that you are a priest, you are a prophet, you are a king, you are a priesthood generation, you are a peculiar person. That form was never shown to you. All they showed you was that you're a servant, and you will always remain a servant. And whenever leadership position comes, you run away. No. Don't give me leadership position. No. I don't need the leadership position. I am a good follower. I'm child of God. Followers never make the news, leaders make the news. I want you to hear me. When you are saying, I don't want the leadership position, I don't want the stress, it's too stressful, it's too demanding, I don't want to be seen on the screen, you are also saying, I don't want to impact my generation. Because all you have been taught is to be a follower, not a leader. And so any leadership position that comes, you shy away. I'm not qualified. I am not ready. I think I am not ready now. And you are running away from leadership, things that has the capacity to shape you. When you see bigger opportunities, you recite to the lower ground because you have become a man of the valley and never the man on the top of the mountains. That's not who you are. You were created for bigger things. But because they have taught you, why do we have problems today in our generation? We have a lot of followers, but few leaders. I can't be the choir director. No, I can't be the ushering director. No. Oh, no. Say, self pastor. No. That's not for people like me. We are followers. We are good followers. If I support you, you know that somebody is supporting you. But can you take the responsibility of the center stage and do something that is abnormal? No. You are used to the norm. And because they have told you that you are not good, you now have trust issues with yourself. You can't even trust yourself to stand on the crowd and perform. Because you have been taught to remain in the shadows. Can I tell you something? Many of us are specialists in what used to be needed and not what is needed. The problem is that you are a specialist in what used to be needed. Now it's not needed. And so you are struggling with yourself because the confinement of who you are, you have become acceptors and not correctors. Your leader in your department is not doing the thing that he or she is supposed to be doing. And you say, he's the leader. Let us accept it and take it the way it is. Let us manage it like that. Let it not be me, because you have been taught that you need to be accepted, not corrected. And so you play the second field. You have prayed for God to give you prosperity, and yet you don't have any relationship with the principles of covenant finance. How will God do? There is no moment of your sowing, and yet you are praying for harvest. Your barn is empty because there is nothing on the ground for you. Where are you banking the hours? I was speaking to someone over the phone this afternoon, and the person began to tell me a lot of experiences. And they say, here where we stay in this nation, not Nigeria, not even African country, so they don't pay you salary, they pay you the number of hours. He said, if someone like you comes here, in 1 year, you'll be a multi-millionaire because you don't rest. He said the number of hours, if you work 5 hours in a week, that's what they'll give you. If you work 150 hours, I say, hey, me, they should not even try me. They will just discover that their money for payment has finished. That is not working. You don't checkmate your working hours, and yet you are praying for God to increase. Where is the increase going to come from? No labor. If you walk, it will walk. You fold your hands in the morning, you through and fro, through and fro. Where are you going? Through and fro. They call you by night. Do you have chance? Yes. They call you by 10. Are you going anywhere? I'm not really busy. They call you by 11. You say, no, I don't have much thing doing. I'm free. Can we go? Yes. They call you by 12. Even 3 o'clock. Anytime they call you. Because you are walking through and fro. You are always empty. And there is nothing on your timetable. Do you even have timetable? There is no target for the week. Nothing. You don't have a target for the week. How to improve yourself. There is no space for self-development. Self-waiting. You will stay on the mirror and use eye pencil. Eye pencil. Some of us are not eye pencil. Eye pencil. You got what here for over 3 hours. You are making up with that coming up. Some men will go to the mirror. You are brushing your hairliner. You will brush your hair until all of them is flat. You now come and do like this, as if you are feeling anyone. I was looking at one boy for over 2 hours. Hairline. You've turned yourself to a hairstylist. A guy will dress up. Fashionista. A guy at 25, 26, 30 years, 35. No commensurate amount of money. The last debit they collected from him for the month was the last money in his account. And he's doing. No self-development for whatsoever. You don't have a self-target. Have a safe target. You get on phone, your WhatsApp 8 hours, you're on WhatsApp. The moment a message is replying, piam, oh my God, double good. No, can I? Anytime you send it, I used to be online. No, I don't go offline. My data used to be on 24 hours. Just send the message anytime. And through, they send anytime you are replying. No time for self-development. They give you one job. You say you're a fashion designer. They brought material for you. You were in cotton. From cutting the cloth turned to pieces. They taught you say it's the latest style. You can't handle projects. And nothing. They give you mic as a music minister. You mount the stage. After singing, people will regret ever coming to church. It doesn't touch you. As a servant of God, they tell you that somebody is dying. Can you pray? You say, somebody that is already dying. What's the need of praying? Just prepare for the burial. The Lord give you hope. And build your confidence. That is a loss. Everybody has appointment with death. So it's the time for this person to die. Lack of power. You are never building for expansion. Your surname has turned to Obu. Whatever enters your hands dies. They give you a department, Obu. They give you an office, Obu. They give you a responsibility, Obu. Your name is now Obulaf. You are never building for expansion.
No, you're not. ₦20 enters your hand. You remind yourself that, hey, it has been long ago. It has been long I ate pineapple. Years and years and years have gone by, and you are not improving because there is no target for building first match. I'm going to show you something. That was the situation these three kings found themselves. There was a promise, but because they did not build for expansion, they came to a point where there was no more water in the canvas for their host. The people that were following them was bankrupt of foods. They discovered they have run out of supply, and the place where they were, there was no water there. They found themselves in the wilderness. They found themselves in the desert. Can I ask you a question? What do you do when you are in the wilderness? There is no extra. No, there is no extra. There is no plan for tomorrow. Everything that comes in, firm. There is no reserve anywhere. Latest hair. If they cut off your hair, the hair on your head is more costly than everything in your head. It would have been better they used it for ritual. It would have been more productive than your hair. There is nothing that keeps developing you. There is nothing that motivates you. There is nothing that pushes you. There is nothing that improves you. And you are waiting for a guy that has spent his life building himself to come and marry you. I pray, may God never answer that your prayer. A girl that has detailed herself, planned her life. I was talking one day with the general attorney of the church. He began to tell me about a girl that was studying medicine in his Babcock. And I think the girl was coming to a place where they, you choose your specialty. And then he was asking the girl, what specialty? He said, no, that by this time next year, she should be knowing who she's going to marry. So whatever the person she's going to marry is doing is what is going to give her her specialty. I know you don't even understand what I said. How would you understand? How would you understand? I didn't expect you to understand. I just said my story myself. What are you going to specialize on? She said the person that she's going to marry is going to pattern. So the kind of job and the destiny of the person is what is going to determine her specialty. You in your third year, what am I even talking? You never had any structure for your life. The whole sense you would have used is attach and go. There is no pattern. There was no time when you say, okay, during the wilderness period, what do I do? How do I pass the desert period? The time where there will not be water, there will not be food. Am I going to die? No. Because the moment you meet the peak of dryness, it's an indication you are closer to rainfall. The peak of dryness, when sometimes even you won't even have 15 naira in your pocket. That's the significance that you are closer to the peak of rainfall. But you never got prepared for those moments. Partnership. What are they talking about? Partnership. Get into partnership. You say no. And then you are found out to be someone who can be trusted. Listen, there will be a point in your life when who you know counts.
there will be. That point in your life is when you will know that you have wasted your time here on earth. They found themselves, there was no water anywhere. They were stranded. And they said, okay, let's go and hand ourselves over to the Moabites. There is no need going to fight. We don't even have water. There is no food for our armies. So we are stagnated. We are strangled. We are in a position. We are in a box. We can't move beyond the place where we are in. So there is no point going to the war front. Let's go and submit ourselves. And then someone said, wait. A question was asked, is there not prophet? Because for every time that is lack, whenever you meet the prophet, you meet the prophet. And so he asked the question, is there anybody here? And then Jehoshaphat, who is the king, now said to the king of Edom, let's go. There is someone by the name Elisha. Let's go to Elisha. He knows what to do at this moment. And then Jehoshaphat said, the word of the Lord is with him. Pastor, director, if your member comes to you, tell pastor and says, ma, sir, I have a problem. Can the person go home with the word of the Lord from him? They said, give me 3:11. 2 Kings chapter 3 verse 11. I will show you something. He said, but Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord, that we may inquire of the Lord by him? And one of the king of Israel's servants answered and said, here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water. The testament of the guy was that he was being proven in service. He has served his way to the top. I told us that without being a servant, you can't get to the top. He said there is someone, is a servant that is answered. He said he has poured water in Elisha's, and he understands the pattern of Elijah. The Elijah spirit resides upon him. He understands how to inquire of the Lord. In the time of difficulty, it is a guy to meet. This guy has the word of God inside of him. Let us look for him. But before we go, let us conduct a verification process. Where did he serve? Who is his spiritual father? What can his spiritual father say about him? When we take out his spiritual father and we ask him, sir, this your son, can you give us a testament about him? What will his spiritual father say? Before we go to him, let us not go and waste time, because we need a lot of energy from here to his house. Let us not go to his house and come back empty. Let us not go to his church and come back empty. He said, this one poured water in the hands of Elijah. He served well. The testament of his boss is that this one can be trusted. It doesn't matter how difficult the assignment is. If that assignment gets into his hand, he would die trying to prove it wrong. If you put the assignment on, no matter how tedious, no matter how challenging, you see this one, it will rather die than not produce a result. He passed with Elijah in Gilgal. He was there in Jericho. He passed through the waters of Jordan with him. That is no test he has not passed. Put him under the scope, he will survive. You see, this one is a die-hard. He did not get what he has by sleeping on the couch. There were days he had to be outside on the desert to make sure that which belongs to his boss, he got it. He said he poured water. Oh, give me another translation. Holy Ghost, help me here. This guy knows how to learn. He studies the actions of his father. He studies the words of his father. He listens and hearkens to his ordinations. He gives his statue. He said, there is one Elijah's right hand encounter, he does not tell this one. Whenever there is a spiritual encounter, this is the guy that Elijah calls and said, that is a spiritual encounter I have. Can you carry the word? He said, Baba, give it to me. He called him the right hand man. Anytime Elijah is trouble, the first to understand the troubles of Elijah is Elisha. Whenever Elijah is in need, the first person to bring what he's looking for is Elisha. Whenever there is money needed, the first person to respond is Elisha. Whenever he is crying, the first person to see his tears is Elisha. He said, this one knows how to break Jordan. This one has passed through Jericho. The kingdoms of Israel did not stop him. The ones of life did not stop him. He was focused on his friend. He was focused on his brother. I remember that my spiritual great grandfather, when he was growing in ministry, God said to him, go to Benin. Your school of ministry is a man by the name Archbishop Benson Idahosa. Don't study anything, study him. Don't study books, study his life. And so when he met Papa Benson Idahosa, he said, where are you coming from? He said, my name is Bishop Duncan Williams. He said, Duncan, what are you doing here? Go and register. He said, no. God sent me to you. Ask him. Men who has read their spiritual fathers as books, that knows the beatings of his heart and would die bringing it up. That is what David said. He said, is this not the blood of my men? He poured it as a libation and said, if I take this water, I have drank my people's blood. The ground will hear the voice of sacrifice. Pow! He poured it on the floor. He said, you cannot go to the garrison of the Philistines and get water and expect me to drink. There are some labors that the mortals responds to. That was the stage this guy. He said he's the guy's right hand man. If you get Elisha, Elijah will respond. When kidnappers kidnapped Reverend Tiantin, it was Papa Neche that called the phone call and said, release my son, or else you will see me. There was something about the guy. One of the days my father said to me, he said, if my properties are burning, out of my children is you, I was sent to go and bring it. I said, why me? He said, I know you won't die there. When I was in the heat of this ministry suffering, I called my dad one day. He said, I know you won't die. You will always find a way. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but it never gives me money. Because he will tell me, I know you will always find it. He's the right hand man. Right hand man. The guy that knows how to do the thing. In the times of Papa Benny Hinn was returning from crusade. Okay, they were about going for a crusade. On their way, they're on the radio, and the radio was somebody online somehow talking about Papa Benny Hinn, his witchcraft, his blah blah blah. And Papa Benny Hinn began to cry and said, if this thing is on the line and we are heading to the crusade, then what am I going to be? Turn the vehicle. The keyboardist said, sir, we are not turning this vehicle. We are not. He said, why? He said, we know the God you serve, and that is why we followed you. We love the God that you love. We are going to that crusade. Papa Benny Hinn said he felt his hand and his keyboardist held him and said, be strong in the Lord. We will never leave you. 48 years has gone. That guy is still playing keyboard for one. Papa Benny Hinn. These are right hand men. Listen, nobody will ever rise in life without a commendation. Hear me and hear me well. The moment you become too proud to learn, you have also become too big to be recommended. Paul is a right hand man. Give me that translation, sir. Amplified if you have. Oh, I know you don't have my NLT, but give me amplified. Let's see what an amplified. He said, who used to pour water over Elijah? He's the right hand man. Oh, give me my preaching. Give me my preaching. Give me my preaching. Give me my preaching. I'm almost done. Holy Ghost, help me there. Now, Elijah assistance be that one. Now, in better half be that. Now, in better half. In Sabi. This was the accreditation test that was passed. He said, that guy, you know Elisha. Now Elijah boy be that. When you get to him, every possibility of Elijah is found in him. Let's go. Next verse. Return back to my King James. Oh my God. Adia Velegos. Who do you look like? Who is your spiritual father? You go for an occasion, they bring food. Your spiritual father said he's fasting. You say, Papa, you're fasting. No, let me eat your own food. It's blessing. It's blessing. It's blessing. It's blessing. You know, Papa's food is a blessing. When Papa refuses to eat the food your Papa is refused to eat is a blessing to you. You're a glutton. Papa, I know you don't like this kind of food. That's why I'm always going with you. Let me eat what you cannot want. That thing you don't want is poison. You're eating poison. You're eating poison. And Jehoshaphat said, the word of the Lord is with him. Someone called me on phone one of the days and we got on praying. And after praying, he just called the sister that gave her my number. I said, who did you say that boy is again? He said, what? He said, do you know how many hours this boy was on phone praying and never blinked an eye? One of the times someone was in cancer stage 4. And was in coma and all that. And I asked the Lord, I said, how many hours will this thing do we need to go for it? He said, if you have 30 hours, the lady will be fine. I said, 30. He said, no problem. I got to the hotel, the hospital, and then we began to talk. When they drove me from the place I was staying to the hospital, the husband called me out and said, man of God, I know my wife is going to die, but I don't want to bury her in the field because there's no money to carry her back. So we'll just bury her. And I said, no. I know you just came to bless my wife so that she can go in. But I said, no, that's not that careful. That woman will not die. So what did he say? I said, no. By 9, I sat down. Can you do what it takes? From 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I didn't stand up for much. Of course, it's practice now. I've been doing that at home. Oh, I can just wake up and feel like 18 hours. And I'll just go. I don't need to. It's not planning to. No, it's not. If you say, oh yeah, let's do 18 now. There's a slippers I used to wear. I just bring that slippers. We'll go 18 hours. Now, we'll go. No, it's not. It's not longer a story. No, it's not a story. We did 10 hours first day. 10 hours the second day. Then the people in the whole world began recovering. So the doctor now noticed that it was no longer medicine healing. They moved everybody out of that ward. Changed word for the woman. And on the 3rd day, meanwhile, the moment we came and raised power, the woman opened her eyes for the first time for a long moment. The husband said, her eyes is open. She said, please, I want to eat. God. You have not generated power. You're talking about this. They said the guy has the voice of God. Do you think you will used to drink zobo and yogurt and dry meat and then you walk all the road, the whole street. Today I was looking for Abreba Street. To find Abreba Street took me almost 30 minutes. But you, even Abreba by Owerri through Warri, you know the color of the houses there. You know the color of the houses there. You look for it. May the Lord give you understanding. Next verse. Oh, I just have a few minutes. He said, and Elisha said unto the king of Israel, what have I to do with you? So you know that the king of Edom, of course, has just taken the heir apparent to the throne from Ahab. And you know Ahab is Jezebel's whatever. And now the king said, I don't have anything to do with you. You have your Baal and other gods. Go to them. He said to him, I don't have a get thee to the prophets of thy father and to the prophets of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto him, no, don't say that one. For the Lord had called these three kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. Now see what the reply of the king is. Verse 14. And Elisha said, as the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand. I don't have time, because you need to understand that he was talking to the king, and yet he was standing before who? God. I know you won't see that one. He was talking to the king, but where he was standing was not where the king was standing. There was another environment, another possibility that the guy was hosting, that the king was not aware of. He said, before the Lord whom I stand. So don't get it twisted. I'm not standing before you. I'm standing before the Lord of hosts. He said, were it not that I regard the presence of who? Who brought Jehoshaphat was the person that did the deal. They might say they are not selling again, but then when they see your face, they say, hi. Oh, we have closed shop, but because of you, let's open the shop. Who you came with matters. Who you are partnering with matters. If you are an eagle and your partner is a chicken, you will end up being true. Who you are partnering with, who is your spiritual father matters. Who you submit to matters. What he does for you matters. Your relationship with him, he said, if it's not that I regard, I respect, I value, I honor the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I will not look towards thee, nor see thee. I won't do it. You said this prayer, if not that it was you that came, I won't pray. And if you think I'm joking, ask God. I wouldn't have responded to your prayer request. I wouldn't have responded to your demand if not that I have value for the presence of the king. Jehoshaphat is not a person that comes to God only when he has a need. Jehoshaphat is a man that has submitted and pledged allegiance to Elisha. The ordinances of Elisha is he salutes the status quo. So he was humble to the core, a man of value. He said, if not because of this man you came with, I would not respond. It was not about you. It was about who was standing behind you. If not for the person you came with, if not for his presence, I won't even listen to what you're saying. I would not give ear to whatsoever thing that is your problem. But you came with Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah. The scepter of authority is in the hands of Judah. I cannot say no to the executive order. If it came from Jehoshaphat, my tension is high. I can't pick the frequencies of the immortals. I can't pick the voice of the prophetic because I am not happy looking at you. So I will need a help. Next verse. He said, get me a minstrel. Get me a minstrel. Someone that knows how to melt the burdens of my heart. I am so vexed in the spirit because I knew what went through in the time of my boss, the Elijah and the Baals. I know how wicked Jezebel was to the clans of the prophets. I know what he did to us. My father ran and abandoned me in the desert, in the wilderness, and he said, let me die like my fathers because I'm not better than them. It was because of Jezebel. But although my spirit is vexed, although I'm in pains and my heart is burdened, but because of who you came with, because of the presence of Jehoshaphat, because of the presence of the executive order of Israel, to whom I plead allegiance to, I can't say no. I don't want to, but I can't say no. I don't want to, but I can't say no. There is someone you can with. There is a partner that you have signed a treaty with. I did not pledge allegiance with you, but because of the person you came with, I'm already involved. My commitment and my covenant was not with you. I had a covenant with Jehoshaphat that I will make sure that the land of Israel is protected. Because of him, I will respond. Get me a minstrel. I need a sound. I need a sound. And the Bible said, when the minstrel played, the hand of the Lord came upon him. Get me a minstrel. If you can get the minstrel, then you have solved the problem. Among your hosts, do you have a minstrel? Someone that knows how to open the doorbands of heaven. Get me a minstrel. Someone that understands the immortality chamber of heaven. Get me a minstrel, not a music minister, not a singer. Get me a minstrel. I'm in need of pathway. The flight I have can hit the wrong way if I can hear a sound. And then, as the minstrel played, Ladia Vedekos, that the hand of the Lord came upon him. Now what happened? Verse 16, sir. And he said, thus says the Lord, make this valley full of fishes. Don't bring one, don't bring two. If the sound is right, the voice will be right. Get me a minstrel. Then you fool, get the fool, get them full. Don't allow any space. Get ditches on the moment the sound is correct, it's time for movement. He said, get them, let them feel. Make this valley feel them, fill the valley. Don't bring one, don't bring two. Make sure there is no space. He said, the miracle is this: you will not see wind, you will not see rain. He said, but the dishes will be full of water. There is something that carries the water, is the sound. At the end of he said, we shall not see the wind, neither shall you see rain, yet valley shall be filled with water. that you can begin to drink. Where did the water come from when he can't see it? If there was nothing that brought it, what produced the water? Akonia edeka anuva diata. Jadumbre to scatter napana. If you have the right partnership in the midst of the challenges, you will have solution. You remember Peter? You remember what they told Peter? He said, don't wash the net yet. Have you forgotten already? Oh, my people. Don't wash the net. The net is still viable to catch many fishes. Don't watch the net. It was the same thing. He said, and your cattle and your beasts, you will feed them and have many more to drink. Stand on your feet. I don't know who I came to speak with, but you need to get the right partner. Need to get involved with the person that will push you to your limits. You need it. Someone that is going to push you beyond your comfort zone. Oh.